Hey there, thanks for clicking on this video. My name is Mr. Articulate. I make a video of between 5 and 10 minutes length every day, and I upload it to YouTube. My main goal with these videos long term is to slowly develop the skills that I need to make myself a more articulate person in my day-to-day life. So the topic for today's video is kind of a tough one to talk about, but I'll just plunge right in here. The biggest challenge that I am feeling toward my faith right now as a Christian is a concern that we have another world religion which has been incredibly successful, that being Islam, that came along after Christianity and affirms that the God of Israel is the true God of the universe, and affirms that Jesus Christ was a representative of God, but says that certain important parts of the Christian message, namely the Trinity and the divine co-eternal sonship of Christ, are distortions that do not accurately reflect the true nature of the Godhead. So, I don't know. I'm struggling with that right now. So a certain amount of doubt, recurrent doubt, is part of faith, I think, for almost all believers. And that is inherent to faith itself, because faith is believing in that which you cannot see. So I think even really holy men and women do still experience periods of doubt. And I once heard a podcast, or rather a sermon from the late great Tim Keller, which was broadcast via podcast, in which he said that doubt is actually one of the most potent ways that we grow in our faith. Because each time that we experience an episode of doubt, we actually, as long as we open ourselves up to the doubt while it's happening, instead of trying to shove it down over and over, we actually will in the end come out of that period of doubt and we'll be back in faith once again, and the faith will be stronger than it was before. And I'm really grateful that I heard Tim Keller say that once, because in the very minor little periods of doubt I've had since, I've remembered Tim Keller's words, and it has really helped me. This, though, has been different, so in terms of the types of things that could make a person doubt, in terms of external realities that might make a believer uncomfortable, there's the doubts that can come from scientific knowledge, the knowledge we have of the infinite size of the universe, the great age of the universe, the fact that Earth is not the center of anything, the age of life on Earth, the fact that human beings came into being through a slow evolution, and how does that fit in with the Genesis narrative. That's all a base that can cause doubt for a person, but I haven't found that to be a problem in quite a while for myself. There is textual criticism, the science of reading the Bible in a very rational hermeneutic way, drawing on knowledge of philology and so on, that developed in the 19th century. So textual criticisms of the Bible can cause doubt. Again, not a problem for me. The fact that there are a number of other world religions, and have been religions as long as there have been complex human societies, and that there have been individuals in all of those societies who believed in the truth of their religion just as much as we Christians believe in the truth of ours, that can be a cause of doubt. Why? I believe in my faith. We can pluck these 50 other individuals out from different times and places in world history, put us all in a room together. The other 50 people all also believe in their faith, their 50 different creeds, and I believe in my creed, and it just happens to be that my creed is the one that corresponds to the actual metaphysical reality. of existence, and the other people are all wrong. That can be a cause of doubt. Not a problem for me anymore. You know, I haven't been troubled by that in a long time, except one alternative creed. So as usual, I've taken too long to get where I wanted to get with this video. So that's one of the biggest things I'm working on each day with these videos is I need to be getting into the heart of what I want to get into more quickly and more efficiently. And I think I need to do that by being able to exercise editorial judgment kind of 10 seconds ahead. So I think I need to have a feeling for what I might be starting to say 5 and 10 seconds before I say it, and be able to on the fly judge whether that will be a good next thing to say or not. And if it's not, be able to generate an alternative and judge that one on the fly as well, so that I always am saying something that will be appropriate to the movement of the speech that I'm making. But back to the topic. Now I'm actually on the topic. I am just troubled by the specific claims of Islam. One, because Islam shares with Christianity that it is an extremely successful religion. There are 2 billion Christians in the world today. There are 1 billion Muslims. And the rise of Islam and the way it's spread out from the Arabian Peninsula is one of the more extraordinary explosions into the world that any civilization has ever had. Islam swept through so much of what had previously been the Christian world, going westward all the way through North Africa and into Spain and into Central Asia, eastward into India even, and it just one of the most remarkable explosions that any civilization has ever had. And they say to a Christian, the God you believe in is really God, and the man you worship as the paragon of manhood in all history, Jesus, was one of the greatest prophets of the God you believe in. The only thing wrong with your belief is that St. Paul basically offered up a Christology, which was a lie, and a Trinitarian vision of the Godhead, which was a lie, and a explanation for the death and resurrection of Christ and why it happened that was a lie. And that if we could just drop that and then turn our faith toward a later prophet of God, Muhammad, and believe in the divine inspiration of Muhammad's word as being from God, then we would be on the right track. I've been struggling with this, guys, and again, it's not an easy thing as a Christian to talk about. I've had periods of doubt come up so many times in the last 3 years that I've been a believer, and again, I think that's, if not universal, it's widespread among believers. So the fact that I have periodic periods of doubt, it's no problem to me. I've always obviously come out on the other side of them, so history says I'll come out on the other side of this one too, but I don't know where to go with it, because normally with any kind of doubt, you entertain it, you don't try to just shove it down, you do look at it, but what you are able to do is keep one of your hands on your faith. But in this case, it's sort of it's a faith versus faith battle. So if the doubt is, should I have faith in the correctitude of Islam over Christianity, it doesn't quite work to be like, hey, faith is believing what you can't see, it's a leap of faith and all that, because it's, at the moment to me, it's feeling arbitrary that I have faith in this one Abrahamic religion, which has been extremely successful globally and has been the bedrock of complex and rich civilizations, and has been spiritual food of the deepest nourishment and the most inexhaustible nourishment to many saintly men and women. And believing in that instead of this other Abrahamic religion, which has been globally extremely successful, has been the bedrock of rich, complex civilizations, and has been the inexhaustible spiritual food for countless spiritual holy men and women. That it's the fact that they are so similar to one another, and that probably 2/3 of the claims that each one makes are shared by the other, and Islam comes second. And it's just like, I'm to believe that everything that happened in the first 50 years, Anno Domini, was God's work in the world with Christ, with the apostles, and so on. But then this other time, 800 years later, when a group of people say that the very same God is at work in the world again, and that work, whether it was truly the work of God or not, has gigantic global implications and inspires the devotion of countless millions of people for many, many centuries. Why is it that I believe that the first cluster of people saying God is doing work here, it really did happen, and it really was God, but then this other cluster, which is so similar in so many ways, I don't believe. So that's it. I probably could have gotten all of that out in 6 minutes. It's currently been 12 minutes, so definitely a lot of room for improvement. And then the last thing here is, I don't know quite what to do now. The idea that occurs to me is just get the Quran and read the Quran and pray to God. And both these religions believe in the same God. So pray to the God that Christians and Muslims do both believe in, and just say, I'm going to read the Quran. Please either show me as I read this that this is not you, and that the you that I believe in now is you, or show me the opposite. Show me that this you in the Quran is the real you, and that there really was, after Jesus the prophet did all the things he was sent to do, there really were distortions that happened after him. So that would, but then I don't know, I say that, but then I just don't get a bodily feeling, an intuitive feeling telling me that yes, I should go out and at this particular moment buy a Quran. But in the meantime, it makes going to church a little different. It makes turning to God for support and help a little different, because, you know, those of you who are Christians, you know, when you turn to God and for help and support, so often we're turning to God the Son, and now it's like, is God the Son God, you know, and is God triune, or is that a distortion? And is the real truth out there under this name, Islam? I don't know. As I say it, doesn't feel right to me. It does feel like God is the triune God, but you know, doubts come and go. This is how it goes. This one is just a weird one. It's a weird one. So thanks for watching. If you stuck around till the end, I'll be back soon with another video, and have a great day or night.